Oscar, where we get the details on all the latest Australian news.
First, we'll start by answering the phone. Hello?
Hey Oscar, I just heard some crazy news this past month. Australia wants to make fighting for ISIS a reason to lose citizenship. Can you get me the real story?
Yes. What you have heard is true. Recently, the Minister of Australia decided any Australian-born citizen who decides to change their cultural identity and fight for ISIS will no longer be considered an Australian citizen.
So, is it true the Australians' nationality is changing, but their ethnicity stays the same? Because they're starting to follow ISIS beliefs?
No. Only their citizen status changes. They lose rights like voting and just aren't considered Australian anymore.
Oh, so because ISIS doesn't have a sovereign state, there's nowhere to deport the un-Australians?
Exactly. I also heard that Australia doesn't want to leave anyone stateless and that they can only take away citizenship if the Australian person joins the armed forces of another country to fight against Australia.
So, if there isn't one single state, where could the un-Australians be citizens?
Well, the Australian government is trying to pass a bill to make them a citizen of their parents' home country, which only happens if their parents were immigrants to Australia.
Oh, interesting.
Well, Jenna, it looks like we're out of time. I hope this conversation had cleared some things up.
It sure did. Thank you so much, Oscar.
No problem. It was my pleasure. Bye now.
Stay tuned for when we return with a special guest all the way from Cambodia next on Hey Oscar.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have a special guest with us, Jessie, all the way from Cambodia.
Hey Oscar, thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Please inform me on the situation in Cambodia concerning Australia.
Well, recently the Australian and Cambodian governments signed an agreement that gave some of Australia's refugees or asylum seekers to Cambodia in return for money.
Very interesting. Can you define the word refugee for our viewers?
Yes, a refugee is a person who is outside their own country and is unable or unwilling to return home, usually because it's too dangerous to do so.
I'm kind of confused here. So why does Australia have refugees in the first place?
No. They're asylum seekers who came to Australia, originally trying to seek protection. Refugees transferring to Cambodia are being kept in the Nauru Detention Center.
Oh, okay. So can you explain to me what the Nauru Detention Center is?
Yes, the Nauru Detention Center is the refugee detention center on the South Pacific island nation of Nauru, which is owned by Australia.
Why are refugees going to Australia in the first place?
Australia has international obligations to make sure that refugees and asylum seekers' human rights are protected. Australia also has plenty of resources and a stable economy.
Are these all examples of pull factors?
Yes.
So what are some examples of push factors that would make the refugees coming to Australia leave their homes?
Well, most Australian refugees come from Iraq, so their biggest push factor would be the danger from the war, poor healthcare, and high infant mortality rate. This would be true about most refugees' home countries.
Thank you, Jessie. It looks like that's all the time we have. Stay tuned for next week, guys.
Tune in next week when we talk about the invasive cane toads in Australia on Hey Oscar.